The stars aligned for a Northern Queen. Those who caught her royal debut couldn't make light of the fact that that night, when Caitlin graced the stage, she shone exceedingly bright. It's only right that starring role would follow in Soho, and in doing so, provided it was never a matter of if, but when she would arrive. An outstanding outlier who landed a part in Outlander. Y'all know about that? I love that. Half of you like, it's cool, like she dope, man. She acts. You've got bare followers for acting. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll get to it later. Right. She was getting paid for playing a role that was practically handmade. Yes, you could say that these days she's in love with the Lizzie. See, you know this thing going. Shadows and watch this thing, man. And I'm like, yo, these bars. Right. You see, Caitlin's quite amazing. On the screen, she appears so clever. But in reality, does Caitlin really have her shit together? Now, whether you laugh or gasp, depends whether you think I'm being an arse or grasp that I'm actually paying homage to a very interesting podcast. Eddie, back me up, man. The podcast is cold, right? Yeah. Eddie's no liar, man. Because I know that he follows her on Instagram. So I suggest all of you check out what she does. She's got a really dope podcast, yeah? So, all that just to say, she's dope. But she's also a poet. And this year has been a whirlwind year for her. She stepped onto this poetry scene and she's travelled across and performed on many different powerful stages as a headliner. From Say's events, to Moetry, to word of mouth, to groove. So without further ado, we bring to you Voices in Power, and it's tradition that you rise from your seats, you clap up the place for our special guest, for running the ends of Voices in Power, as we do in the right. Let's go!
Attending my own. Thanks for having me. God, this is pretty wild. I started doing poetry at the beginning of last year and have followed Voices in Power for a really long time, and I just want to thank you, Woodsy, for giving me the opportunity. And YA as well, like I saw her perform and headline at the last one, and that was fucking amazing. So just stoked to be here, thank you so much. And like the poetry scene has just been the most beautiful thing that I could have joined, and I've met some amazing people, and it's really just, you know, from being from the north, it's really made me feel like I have a home in London, so thank you. I'm just going to crack on. I've got 20 minutes, so I'm going to give you 6 poems. Yeah, I don't really do amble in between, yeah, you can tell. Hey, you're okay. I know it feels like life might be rolling away, but come back to yourself. Stay strong. The beauty of life is in getting things wrong. We're not long for this world, you and I. Better to end having everything tried than die trying to scrape back time, rifling through what could have been in our minds. Hey, you're all right. I know that it feels like you're caught in a fight. Sometimes it's outwards, but mostly within. There's a war going on and it's under your skin. I see you're in pain. I understand. Life hasn't gone quite the way you had planned, but come back to yourself. Stay strong. It may be that this was the plan all along. Hey, this will pass. I know that it feels like the wake of a blast. I know that there's anger. I know that there's shame. And so many feelings you're struggling to name. I know that you're running and don't know what from. I know that there's days when you wish there were none, and gone is the freedom that you used to feel. Drifting through life slowly lost its appeal. There's a realness now to the choices you make. A more human cost if you make a mistake. You're dancing on eggshells, coughing up smoke, deflecting questions with diverting jokes. You're screaming for change but can't quite create it. Stifled by life but so scared to detonate it. You're awaiting something. You don't know quite what. You had it once, but by now you've forgot it's a lot. It's almost too much to hold. You're searching for something to make you feel whole or feel held. And in the quiet of night where your body once melded to another, you lay awake remembering all the lovers that you could have, or you should have, or you would have, if life had gone a different way. You play out all the means in which you might have made them stay if just for one more measly moment, one more mediocre day. But please, hold on. Please hold your nerve. Don't you dare fucking settle for less than you deserve. You are loved. You're not alone. In this place you have a home. In this space where people meet just to hear another speak some words of comfort and connection. A place of laughter and reflection. A place of rage and introspection. Where every single person here has overcome rejection or is dealing with it now. If you'll allow, let us hold your imperfections for a portion of the evening. And take the deepest breath just to remind yourself you're breathing. Let this be a part of healing. And know that everything you're feeling, someone else has felt it too. Let the darkest part of others shine a light inside of you. You've been so strong. And in this moment here, right now, you've found where you belong. Thank you. For context, it was a second date. And for further context, this is written from his point of view, because I think sometimes think that I said this, and I definitely did not. You hate men, you say, sat across from me. The menu sits between us in the silence. There are men out there who are violent, but I'm not like that. And I resent the fact that you can't see. I resent the fact that when you say patriarchy, you don't exclude me. You need to check yourself. I'm trying my hardest. I'm doing my best. Jesus Christ, it's like a never-ending fucking test. What more can I say? What more can I do? It seems like nothing's enough for you. When you say patriarchy, do you not see that the real victims here are the people like me? No, stop it. Now you're twisting my words. No, stop it. I just think it's really absurd that you want a man who treats you like a piece of shit. And I'm sat here, right, and I feel like a tit because I'm a nice guy, but I get overlooked. I'm a nice guy, but it's like you're expecting something better to come along. No, stop it. Wait. Can't you see that you're wrong? I just think it's unfair. I think it's complex. I think people, they're scared to talk about sex in this way, so black and white that they're missing the grey, because statistically, no. Let me finish. Statistically, I'm more likely to, you know what I'm saying, and that's statistics, I'm talking statistics. Why are you quiet? Why aren't you saying anything? Why aren't you looking at me? Oh, now I feel bad, don't make me feel bad. I'm sorry, alright, I'm sorry, okay, I'm sorry, it's just, fuck, I don't know what to say, it's just hard, you know? When you're a nice guy, and it's hard because, oh God, please don't cry, I'm sorry, alright, what more do you want? I'm sorry, okay, maybe I am in the wrong, it's just hard because there's no one to talk to about this sort of stuff, and it's hard because, see, that's why I wanted to bring all this up, because it's a safe space, and I can't talk to my mates, and it's a safe space. Come on, don't ruin the date. And if I'm honest, see, I think you handled that perfectly. And if I'm honest, see, that's why I think you're the girl for me, because I like that you're strong, and don't get me wrong, but this is actually the most attracted I've been to you right now. Woodsy also told me that this is the reason that he booked me, so I have to do it. Spotify playlists have become a place that keep displayed the songs we've played and listened to. There's no escaping you. My history is filled with moments spent content and lying in each other's arms, phone passed eagerly between interlocked palms, tapping in titles, artists and bands, a way to understand each other, expand one another's context of where we came from and what we've survived, the lyrics and music that soundtracked our lives up until this very instant. Instinctively, we start off tentative, still attempting to give off the impression we've got taste, scared to face the potential of seeming uncool, ruling out songs we were into at school. Editing our guilty pleasures to feel less guilty. Ultimately, I want you to still be into me. Each melody leaves us more exposed. I want you to show me what nobody knows. I want you to show me the music you've grown with so we can grow closer together. Share the B-sides you love. Beside me under the covers. Share with me your favourite covers. Infiltrate my Spotify playlist. Make my daily mixes a reason to miss you daily as it shuffles through the songs you've played me. And they'll stay with me for the rest of our time, and if this should end, I'll keep them and they'll become mine. Another song with a story for someone else's Spotify. Thank you. The one that I account for starting off my spoken word journey properly. It's the one that I started performing at open mic nights, and it's something that I wrote on my own in my bedroom, and I never really expected people to resonate with it in the way that it did, and it's what ended up getting me headlines and all of those things, so I feel like I have to perform it. I feel like this is a cast back through my life. Go on the journey with me. Right. It's more than a yes or a no. It's a feeling that tingles through bones that signals the tone for how the evening might go. I know it's a grey area, but it's a great area to be in. The anticipation, the static vibrations, the electricity of you and me, the back and forth of who will be the first to crack and succumb to temptation. It's fire. It's light. It's a moment that leaves your chest feeling tight with a pounding of hearts and the who's gonna starts. It's invisible, but it's present. It's tangible, and it presents a moment that will resonate and relegate time and space to meaningless circumstances. We've both taken chances, and our bodies will dance to the rhythm we've created through the language they speak silently to each other. It's more than an utter of yes or no. It's the quiet, untold. It's the energy we hold. I can say yes, but my stance might say no. I can say yes, but might really want you to go. I know it's confusing and it's frustrating. And I can't tell you how many times I've ended up hating myself and making myself go along with situations I am not entirely comfortable with. Because I worry how no might be received. It's so much easier for me to people please. Appeasing comes easily to me. It's my safe space because I have seen the alternative. I've had to alter my behaviour due to ulterior learning. I've had to educate myself in your unspoken yearning. If I can read the unwritten, why aren't you observing the subtleties I'm trying to suggest? But no, my body screams as you start to undress. I know, I should just say no, but sometimes there's nowhere for that no to go. I know how that no might quickly unfold. I know how that no might lead you to scold with accusations and unwanted confrontations, and so I resignate myself to a place of placation. Here's an education. If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. If I hesitate and say, sure, you should go. If I say that I'm tired, you should know what that means. If I'm drunk, you should not be unbuckling your jeans. No, I'm not being coy just to make you more keen. No will always mean no, but yes is complex. I know, you're confused, because you think that by asking you're letting me choose, but I know what might happen if I was to refuse. So if I can't say no, then what's left? If I can't say no, is that a yes? Thank you. Friends from towns are settling down. Lifelong partners, sourdough starters, talking wedding dresses, and I'm impressed they managed to get a mortgage. It's more than I can manage to get up in the morning after late nights out. Feeling like death with a debt to pay. Flat whites are drinking my savings away, and in this lonely city, though we're made of millions strong, isn't it a pity that love keeps going wrong? Passing ships in the night, desperate to make the right decisions, clinging to perfection in this mess that we call living. Chasing the dream in 1,000 various directions. I can't commit to sleep, let alone to deep connections. Call it self-protection. If it's not instant, it's not for me. Unless, of course, I'm talking about my one-a-day coffee. You can keep your granules. I may not have much, but I'll always have standards. I'm wanting cool, Instagrammable spaces that famous names and faces implore I should check out. I'm decking out my rented pad with plants I can't keep satisfied. Hiding from responsibility with too little water or too much light. It's hard to get the balance right. These bricks I'll never own. This house will never be my home, and it seems the only thing I can invest in is men with complex issues. For sure, let me try and fix shoes. And it's frightening how solitude is tightening its grip, how quickly we can slip into filling up with things we lack, stuffing holes to hide the cracks. I'm playing invisible twister, and insufficiency is the spinner. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, and then I'm racing home for dinner, and by that, I mean my tea. My God, this city will take it all from me, including my northern identity. I'm constantly tired tired, but constantly bored. I constantly feel like I'm being ignored. When I need some connection, there's nobody there. When I need privacy, suddenly people stare. I'm constantly guilty. It's never enough. I constantly wish I felt a little less rough. The streets are paved with gold, and when I'm older, I'll make time to rest. But when I'm older and I'm past my best, will I regret not settling sooner? The longing as opposed to living. The taking as opposed to giving in to riding the ride of this thing we call life. The settling down and the being the wife. I'm rallying against the expected, but will I regret the rejected opportunity for simplicity? The house, the dog, the you and me, the baby, the garden, the growing old comfortably. Time will tell. But till then, please tell me that I still have time. Thank you.
No!
At what point do you tell your girl a park's not just for play? At night time, stay away, there's danger lurking all around. And round about dusk, the rustles in the bushes might be home to something much more menacing than bushy-tailed creatures that are out to steal your crisps. The risks of a shortcut. I bet your Uber's kept a float out of women's pockets, makes its profits as the cons of walking home alone far outweighs the pros. And does she know that she'll pay for a taxi to avoid getting murdered by a stranger, then spend the entire journey aware of the danger that this might be the stranger who will finally murder her? If I had £1 for all the pounds lost due to the cost of having to consider getting home without accostation, I still wouldn't earn the same as men. But then again, the system's rigged to constantly remind us our beauty is behind us, and so we must invest in lotions and potions, the extent of the ocean, to maintain a sense of relevance. I'm relatively sure if I'd have saved all the money that promised fatter tummies or younger skin or looking thin or better hair or buying uncomfortable underwear for him, I'd be halfway to a mortgage. But more than that, I'd have a sense of power back. They profit off our lack, you see. Attack appearance constantly, confine us to the binary of slut or saint. We can't escape, but both are tainted. We're well acquainted with the shame, born into a losing game. And it's the same with contraception. Sex is no exception. We're expected to bear the burden, or else they're a birth that we never expected, hadn't projected for. And if we're lucky enough to get the pill for free, the bill will be floated by our bloated bodies. And it could cost us anything from mood swings and low sex drive to blood clots and higher rates of suicidal thoughts and depression. It's given the impression that we accept this as part of the course of womanhood, but it is understood that we would never expect this from a man. And who would trust them anyway? So we'll pay more to conform to societal norms, even down to spending more on our school uniforms. 12% more for a girl's blazer. Not to mention on tampons and razors. It's crazy, but so normalised that it used to not faze me. Sometimes I wonder who I'd be if I existed just for me, if my entire existence hadn't consisted of persistently viewing myself through a male's gaze, if the haze lifted and I could wear whatever the fuck I want without consequence. And yet, I'm well aware of the hypocrisy of getting older. I'm well aware that not too far from now, their looks I once despised, I'll begin to crave. It's exposing in their light, but so much colder in their shade. If a woman falls in the forest and there's no man there to save her, can she even say she lived at all? I dread the moment I might feel invisible, where my aging body is less considerable. No wonder people are getting surgery to feel less fucking miserable. Do you know how it feels to hover above yourself? Hyper-aware, the left foot in the present, the right not really there because it's running away with itself, preparing itself for what could possibly go wrong because it has gone wrong. I'm tired of constant vigilance. I'm tired of constant vigils. They seem to be rising without uprising, and yet we act surprised every time another woman gets killed. Don't be too nice, it'll get you killed. Don't be so rude, it'll get you killed. Socialised into politeness that still gets us killed. They rap bitch at us, and then within the same breath they complain they're not getting enough respect, and it's reflected in real life. It's reflected in banter with the guys. It's reflected in the wage gap, the thigh gap, the orgasm gap, the fact that victims are rarely believed, the fact that justice is barely achieved, the fact that it costs us so much more to just be. So tell me, because I want to hear what you have to say for it. At what point do you tell your girl her life is only worth what she is able to pay for it? Thank you.
I'm going to share what I just said to her. I'm like, wow! Make some more noise. Caitlin O'Reilly. Like, in this life, like, much is demanded of us. And I know from my introduction that the outlander things never land the things. Some people out here don't know how much work you're putting in as an actor. But in this pantheon of poetry, you earned your square without reference to anything. And that's extraordinary. Alright? I needed that because, like, the reference I said the role was handmade is like she's a handmaiden. Like, there was no something stuff there, they know. But do your homework, man, because like everyone in this room and your network is living an extraordinary life outside of the parameters of sociability.